Now, let's move on, though, into the next resource called cheat sheets. Now, under cheat sheets, you'll notice right away the organization of this is exactly the same, right? We have a public folder, we have a custom folder, and if I bury into one of these, let's change the topic maybe to AutoCAD now, vanilla AutoCAD. Everybody's at least familiar with that. And I'm going to bring up this cheat sheet called Fix a Corrupt Drawing. So if any of us have been, working with Autodesk products for a while, AutoCAD namely here, every once in a while, no matter how great AutoCAD actually is, the DWG can become corrupted every once in a while. A lot of different reasons why, a lot of good reasons why, but it becomes corrupted. It's a headache, it's a frustration. How do you actually recover that drawing? And there's a lot of different ways to do so, and depending on the severity of the corruption, well, here's a cheat sheet, here's a quick fix basically on how to go about that. This really encapsulates what a cheat sheet is. These are tips and tricks. They're troubleshooting notes. They're frequently asked questions. That's really what a cheat sheet is, frequently asked questions. So in the public folder, if you notice here again through the folder structure, we have hundreds upon hundreds, probably even thousands of cheat sheets now available to our Pinnacle Series subscribers and giving these frequently asked questions in a very easy to search on system so that when you're stuck, you know exactly where to go to find that answer or to search on that answer. Now let's talk about, though, the custom folder, and let's talk about a major problem that's facing our industry today. Anybody out there that's working with a relatively decent sized firm, let's say 10 users and up, there's a common problem where typically one, two, or a handful of people are kind of designated as maybe the help desk, they're designated as the power user, might be the CAD manager, but they're the go-to person, right? They get all of the questions dumped on them, and it's their responsibility to go through and answer all of those questions. In some cases, they're billable people. In other cases, they're not billable. In either case, they get the same question over and over again. It happens to all of us. It happens to every firm out there. It doesn't matter if you're in the engineering, architectural space or if you're in the accounting business. These frequently asked questions are a frustration for people. What we're trying to solve here with the cheat sheets is a very simple way to answer that problem. When somebody has a question, and it's the common frequently asked question, get it documented in the system. That's nothing new, but we want to get it documented in a very easy to use system that's accessible virtually anywhere. So as a CAD manager, as that power user, I can come in here and I can start documenting all of these frequently asked questions. And let's take it to the extreme. Maybe it's, how do you set up voicemail? Our firm actually here at Eagle Point, we just went through a phone system change probably about 6 months ago. And if you can imagine, we've been using phones for the last 9 years of my life. Now we get a new phone system, and I have all these questions that have come up. Well, how do I even set up my voicemail? And there's a lot of different systems out there, like help manuals that help me out, but they're all in disparate areas. Across our network, all over the place, it's hard to find. We're getting this all encapsulated right into this platform so that I know exactly where to go no matter what my question is. Now that's taking it to the extreme. How do I set up voicemail? Or how do I add in a network printer? Go into the IT realm of things here. But this does not have to go that far. There are plenty of questions asked about Civil 3D, Revit, BIM in general that they could be just frequently asked questions documented right here in this system. So CAD managers, those power users, they have access to build these cheat sheets right in here, very easy. If you have existing documents out there already, you can import them right in as a cheat sheet, and it's just click a couple buttons and it brings it in for you. Or of course you can copy and paste that in there as well. Now there's some permissions here behind the scenes. You don't want any and every user coming in here and creating content in Pinnacle and having it shared with the masses, right? If you hired me yesterday, you don't want me to come in and start creating all these, frequently asked questions, these cheat sheets. But right here we have this thing called My Cheat Sheets. This has given me the ability, no matter if I'm a novice user or a power user, I can build my own personal cheat sheets. So let's say I ran across this problem, and I'm going to make it simple. I was trying to X-reference a drawing in AutoCAD. I couldn't figure out how to do it. I couldn't remember. So I went and asked my neighbor. I called them up. I worked with them. 30 minutes later, we have our answer. It's a good practice now. I should document a cheat sheet for myself on how to do that. So I'll say, how to X-ref a drawing. Obviously very simple, but any problem that I have, no matter how simple it is, no matter how advanced in nature it is, I can document it right here. I can say this cheat sheet helps me to XREF drawings. I don't want to spend too much time here typing, obviously, but you can kind of picture of what this is like. You know, this is a word processor. That's purely what it is. There's no programming necessary to create this content. It's all being put in here by typing in my keyboard. Very, very simple. If you can use Word, you can use Pinnacle to basically start creating and tracking content. Once I click OK then, this is going to be published into the Pinnacle series. And for me, this is only available to my cheat sheets folder, which is personal to me, Steve. My end user or my neighbor right down the row here, he would not have access to that cheat sheet. But let's say this cheat sheet has a tremendous amount of value. I think it should be promoted up to everybody else in the company. I can go ahead and right click on that, say make a suggestion, and I could say BIM manager, you should promote this. This will then notify all of the people that have access to manage the content within the Pinnacle series. So I just use a BIM manager as an example there. But they can go in then and they can review everybody's My Cheat Sheets. So those managers have that ability to review those. And then it's a simple drag and drop. They drag it up to a folder that's available to everybody else in the company. And they're going to have access to that. And it's basically taken that knowledge that I've captured as an end user and built it into a scalable answer for a problem that comes up all of the time. And that's really what these cheat sheets are all about, is all of these common questions that just get asked all the time. We wanted them answered in a very easy to use system. Okay, so that's search workflows and cheat sheets so far. Let's keep moving on here. We see some questions coming in, and don't worry, we will get to all these questions at the end of the presentation. All right, videos now, right? So you probably at this point in time have a general understanding of what the Pinnacle series looks like and feels like, right? So under the videos, we have a public folder again, and we have a custom folder. Same purpose. The reason why we have this custom folder is in a lot of organizations out there, they do lunch and learn courses. They do quick tips and tricks in video format. Somebody might have Camtasia or a few other, Snagit programs that can record video. Record those videos, place them right here in the Pinnacle series next to everything else. That way they're accessible through the system, searchable, and very easy to find. But under the public folder, this is a collection, as you would expect, of videos training people on the various Autodesk technologies. There's two different kinds of videos, and that's the important thing to cover here. We all know what a video is. But in the Pinnacle series, we have how-to videos and recorded training videos. Both of them are, a video. That's pretty easy to understand, but there's different purposes for these. So the how-to folder, this is the collection of shorter videos. They tend to be about 5 minutes in length. And the intent here is not necessarily to take a really deep dive into the topic at hand. It's more to give you a quick refresher to get you back on your project. So in this case, I went to Navisworks here, again, just to change the topic a little bit. And how do you run a clash detection test in Navisworks? This is an 8-minute video teaching me that very quickly. It's direct to the point so that I'm in the middle of a project and I can't remember what I need to do here. I can watch a short video that doesn't take too much time, teaches me, and then I'm back off and running on my project. So 5 minutes video is kind of what we're after here in the how-to collection. But in some cases, you know what? People need that deep dive training. They need that access to really spend some time on this and go into the details. How is this working behind the scenes? So I went to that recorded training folder here, and I went down to the same topic basically, checking for conflicts in Navisworks, and here we have a 49-minute video taking a much deeper dive into this topic, going to train me on that, and basically this is a recording of a live version of this class that was given in the past. So we're given options now as the user. If I have time and the ability to watch an hour-long video, you know what? We have access to it. If I don't have that time, here we have access to it right in that how-to folder. And of course, like everything else, all of this is searchable, and that's the most common way that people actually get access to these videos. Now, there's a couple questions in here already that I want to answer right up front. Where are these files stored? Where is this content stored? Those are great questions. So all of this content in here in the Pinnacle series is stored in the cloud. So whether it's a workflow, a cheat sheet, or a video, we store all this content in the cloud. That way it's accessible, virtually anywhere. Anywhere where you have internet access, you have access to these videos and workflows and cheat sheets. Additionally, we're looking at the Pinnacle series right here on my laptop. So we have the PC version of this that you're watching right now. But we have native apps that are built onto Android and iPhone phones as well as tablets, so iPads, Android tablets. You have that native app there. Download Pinnacle series. It's a free app on there. You sign in basically the same way you sign in here to the Pinnacle series on the PC, and you have access to all this material now, even in the comfort of your own home, on project sites, as long as you have that internet access. It's not uncommon for people to have a catalog of cheat sheets for that when you're maybe out there in the survey, in the field doing some survey work. How do I hook up my instrument potentially even? We have a lot of customers that are taking it to that level where you're out in the field being able to access this information. Now, one little caveat to that, and I don't want to go too much in the weeds. This is definitely an overview here, but the documents that can be linked into the workflows and cheat sheets, if you would like to, you can house those behind your firewall. Okay, let's